Hi guys, welcome to the studio again. Today I did a little work this morning to work on a new series. I told you maybe I wanted to prepare something about horses. So this morning I did a little study. That's a little painting of a horse. I'm going to bring it closer. Okay, so I did that painting this morning. It took me about, I would say about an hour 30 to do it. I didn't record it. Long story, short story. I had some technical issues again. I'm still, working on all that stuff and so on. So anyway, so I taped another piece of paper, and so because I did a black horse, now I'm going to do a white horse. And I'm going to try to explain to you the way I work, the way I paint, and try to see, try to explain to you the fact that with the technique I'm teaching, you can paint pretty much anything. So we started with the flower by Manet, the black and white, because it was simple, because it was there was no really struggle with the preciseness of the drawing and so on. We had some flexibility. We had some. So I hope you enjoy that. I hope you use those paintings to make yourself more comfortable with the material and so on. Then we moved to the colors, the colors Manet, the flowers. Same thing, it was more about having fun to paint with colors, to experiment and so on. It doesn't matter if the flowers were not exactly where it should be and so on. Now we're going to start horses. So the difference with horses is that if the head of the horse is not at the right place and you put it on his butt or something, it might look weird. So I'm going to try to explain to you how I approach it in order to paint the horse and be, doing the anatomy, the bone structure and so on, the muscle, and without struggling too much about it. So I have my paper. Let me make sure that, yes, I think we're good. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay, so as usual, I have my palette. So I already worked on the black horse this morning, so it's why I have some black and white in the center. So I'm going to try to explain to you how I approach a painting like this. The horse, this white horse is going to be, the black horse was a bit bigger in the page. I don't know if I should do it this way. I think it's going to be okay. So, yeah, let me just do something quickly, because I think I would like maybe to crop the image a little bit more, so it's going to be easier for you guys. Okay, perfect. Okay, what I did, I recropped it a little bit. So what is really important for me is I'm going to do something that is about the same proportion than the paper I'm working on from the image. What I mean by that is that the image, the black and white image, is about that size, the same proportion. The reason why I do that is because I'm going to use the space around the horse to draw the horse. And if you use that technique, you're going to be able to paint pretty much anything and everything. So we're going to start with some liquid, and so I'm just going to outline quickly the big mass, I'm not getting yet into detail and so on, I just right now I just information, basic information. Well, that doesn't really look like a horse yet, but it will eventually. Let me move that tiny bit. I'm just going to move the camera a tiny bit so you have more of the. I'm sorry, but it's. Yeah, I think it's good. I just want you to understand the whole thing. So. So right now I'm not painting the horse, I'm painting the surrounding. The reason why I'm doing that is because it's going to help me a lot to position my horse in the page. So, you know, I'm trying to figure out where is the center of the paper, where is the... And so for now, I'm not at all trying to think about what I'm painting. If I'm starting thinking I'm going to paint a horse, I might panic because it's really complicated. So I'm just painting something without naming it. So, you know, I already told you the number of times when we are doing the flowers that I wanted you to forget what you were painting in order to be able to paint it. So it's pretty much the same thing. I'm trying to judge the negative space. This one is a bit more tricky than the black horse because the negative space are larger. The black horse was more trapped into a smaller size. I mean, the paper, it was bigger in the paper, so the empty space were more obvious. Like, for example, the distance between the top of the head is more like here. But, you know, we'll define that as we work. So I talk a lot about mapping, and on this kind of painting, it's all about mapping. It's all about putting the right information. I have this beautiful light in the grass on the foreground here. So you see there's two ways to draw a horse actually, or anything you draw. You can draw from the inside or from the outside. Right now I'm coming from the outside. And so for example, you see that leg, so what I'm prolonging the line on the top of the leg, and I'm seeing where it hits the border of the paper. So it's here from here to here. So it should be somewhere here. So obviously I'm wrong. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some white and I'm going to write it right now. So once again, what I'm trying to do is just to locate things. Look at the shape of that zone, that area, this one. Look at the shape of it and don't think of a horse. Think of a shape. It's a pretty simple shape. I mean, it's a complicated shape, but it's more simple to paint that shape than to paint the legs of the horse, right? So I'm just going to do like this. I have a triangle here, something like this. You see, if I'm starting thinking legs and so on, then I get lost. If I just think in terms of big volumes, shapes, and how they fall regards to the paper and so on, it's easier. So I want you to understand that. It's just like if you start painting that horse, thinking horse, there's a lot of chance you won't be able to make it because it's too complicated. And it's not only you. I mean, you know, it's just all of us can face the same problem when we paint things that are really complex. We can get really lost because it's complex. While if we try to make things simple, like simple shape, you know, looking at, like, for example, that beautiful space, you see it goes here. Here it might be a bit higher. So what I'm going to do, so my background is pretty much done now. I mean, you know, I will have to put some lights here and a little thing here to make the tree. But for now, it's way too early. Right now I need to focus on the horse. So I'm going to clean my palette, because of course I'm going to work mostly with white now. And so I'm really going to think in terms of simple shapes. And I'm trying to measure in my head what's the distance between that and that, that and that and that and that. So, you know, and I'm not going to be accurate right away. I mean, maybe I will, but there's a lot of chance that I'm going to be off a little bit. So now I'm looking at the bottom of the head of the horse, that line. So if I prolong it, it goes from here to here, somewhere here. So it's more like this. And now the top of the head, it's about here. You know, the distance, if I go up here, the distance between that and that is about here, the top. And the nose goes here. So you see, I'm really trying right now to avoid to name things. So I'm not painting a horse, I'm painting, right now I'm painting a shape. And I will have time to get inside at some point, of course. But remember when I said before you start painting, before you start putting the handles or the curtains or any kind of detail in your house, you need to build the foundation, the walls and so on. So right now that's what I'm doing. So I'm not going to start painting or putting the curtain in the bathroom while there's no bathroom yet. There's nothing. So far it's just kind of I don't know, once again, I don't really want to name it, but something, okay, so same thing. So if I prolong that line here, it's about here. So now I'm going to use some black as well to start also working on the drawing of the horse. So I have something like this and it turns like this. And this line here, it goes about here, yes. So like this, okay. Then I have about a 45 degree, I mean, it looks a little bit like a tent here, you know, like a little house, you see it? Or, you know, it's a triangle. And then we have another one here that goes like this. And then we have that beautiful black line that just draw the butt of the horse. The thing goes more like this and more like this. So you see how I'm working. I'm trying to just get close to the volume, the big volume. Not trying yet to get into any kind of detail. Now I have that line is equaling to that line. Do you see it? Okay, try to forget what you're seeing. Look just at this black and this black here. They're dancing together. That's it. I don't need to more than that. And then if I look at this one, and this one, look, the proportion, this one is about 30% bigger, so longer, so it's about here. Okay? And then the leg here is going from, if I prolong, is going to here, more or less. So it's going to be like this. So I'm going to use some white and I'm going to draw that lines. Okay. Now we have also, okay, if I look at the knee, the left front knee, or is it a elbow for a horse? I don't know. I know the word in French, but not in English, but that's okay. Once again, if I look at the shape of that thing, I would say it's like this. But the elbow is exactly pretty much at the same vertical than that. You see it? We have that and we have the vertical of that. So I'm just going to write it with black. So we have that vertical here. And then the leg here gets to about a 45-degree angle, like this. And we have the other leg that is about here. The other leg, actually, if I prolong the other leg, this one, it's going to go You see it's responding to that line, that black line. So that means the space between here and here and here, you see this one is a bit longer, so I think I'm too long here, so I'm just shortening that. I have this beautiful line here that goes, you see the belly, that little line here draws the belly. So you don't have to prolong it, I'm just prolonging it because I want you to see what I'm doing and why I do that. So I have something like this, and then I have that. And I have the foot of the horse. So it's called a boulet. I don't know the name in English as well, but it's that round thing that is just, you know, like your wrist. It's the equivalent of your wrist. So we have the line. So we have somewhere, we have the okay, I will need to work on my bone and so on for horses, so I know the names a little bit. So we're here, and we have the other one here that goes here. So we might have, actually the grass might be here. Let's do it. I'm just going to lower the level of the grass because everything matters in that painting. All the distance matter because I'm working using those distance in order to create the volume. So it's important for me to keep all those proportions right. Same thing, you know, that leg here that goes about here. So it goes like this. And the elbow goes actually directly into the shoe here. So I have the shoe here. And I just want you to map for now. Don't even try to make any kind of modulation. Once again, before you put the handle on your doors, just make sure that the foundation is properly done. So same thing here. I feel like so you see, sometimes I have like 4 brushes in my hand when I work like this, because obviously I need brushes for the white and brushes for the black. So the boulet is here and the other boulet is here roughly, while I have the boulet, the main boulet here is a bit, they are the same eye, those 2 elements, so the other one is here. And then the other one is at the same eye as well, so it's here. But now the knee, the right knee is more like this. The nose is kind of gray. And I have the eye, so I'm going to position the eye now because I think it's important for me to see where the eye is. The eye is at the perpendicular of the vertical of the interior of that knee, so the eye should be somewhere here. Okay. The belly, the line under the belly is beautiful. It's dancing like this. So I don't want you to be in panic in the way that you know, you might be overwhelmed by all the elements and so on. Just take it easy. Just, you know, be kind to yourself and Take your time. Things are going to come together at some point. So now we have that beautiful line here that is actually almost coming here. So we have something like this. You see it? We have the floor, I mean the beginning of the forest or whatever, about here. I feel like that distance is too long, so I might have to shorten here. Let's do it again. So this one is actually a little bit inside, it's not completely, and maybe that thing is actually too big. So you see, it's self-correcting. You self-correct yourself all the time. You do something and you measure it regards to the rest. If you use that technique, you can paint anything you want. Because you will be able to always do those geometry, simple shapes in your head where you're just going to say, where is that, regard to that, regard to that. And then by building this kind of mental grid, it's pretty much the same thing. You remember when, I mean, we all have seen guys in art studio taking their brush and measuring like this and so on. Basically, that's what I'm trying to do, but because I'm kind of trained now, I don't need my brush, my brain does it. If you need your brush, you can take your brush. If you need to measure the photo, blah, 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 you can. I have no problem with that. The goal is to train your brain not to have to do that at some point. So you see things naturally, you see the elements, the distance and so on. Of course, at the beginning, it's more difficult because your brain needs some training in order to see those distances naturally. You know, that's the thing. You know, when you work a lot, then you develop some skills, of course. You know, like for me, I've done so many portraits that now I have those distance almost intuitively in me. I can tell you it was not like this at all when I started doing portraits, paintings. I was okay, you know, I trained a lot in art school and so on. But portraits expose you to, you have to be really demanding when you do commission portraits, because you cannot say to the client, it doesn't look like you, but it's fine, you're gonna, you know, just buy it. People don't. So you have to be really demanding about what you do in order for your client to be satisfied, or client or friends, because even if you do the portrait of a friend and it doesn't look like him, the friend's gonna say, you know, doesn't look like me. The only way you can get the likeness is actually by really respecting those proportions, what I'm talking about, you know, like the lines and so on. It's exactly the same thing when you do a portrait, when you do any kind of painting. Studying those lines and be close to what they are is the way you're gonna get the likeness. And even if you do caricature, even if you do something like, you know, like extending making the lines even more than what they are and so on, you still will use those reference, you know. So now I'm starting scaling the whites. Like for example, this one is not white, it's more of a gray. So I'm just making them darker so they don't compete with the white. You know, there's this beautiful gray here. You can blindfold your eyes to judge those gradients. You know, you blindfold your eyes, you squeeze your, not blindfold, I'm sorry. You squint your eyes, so you make them, you know, like, let me do it for you, so you're gonna think it's funny. You do like this. And so by reducing the amount of light inside your eye, you're gonna be better at judging the scales of grays and so on. Like for example, here, it's more of a gray. Same thing here. Same thing here. It's really difficult now. Difficult, yes, it's difficult, but you know, getting those grays is what's going to give the volume to the horse. The head is actually all gray, mostly all around the nostrils. Here it's gray, of course. That's really dark gray. So remember what we've done with the flowers. We're doing exactly the same thing. And, you know, don't panic. Don't feel overwhelmed. I know it's easy to say, but it's more difficult. You know, I understand if you're a bit overwhelmed. But once again, just take your time. Just, you know, measure things, evaluate things, put them, you know, where is that, regard to that, regard to that. And then if you do that, at some point you're going to, like for example, I'm working on that part. So that little thing here is just in the center. So the end of the leg. The neck almost disappear here, you know, there's what I call the passage, which is beautiful. We have something here that goes back inside. I might be too harsh on that, but that's okay. I can come back with more white. Okay, it doesn't work. So for the black horse I showed you before, that I've done just before this one, I've done it in one session. For this one, I don't know yet. I will see. So there's the horse, the ear of the horses that are really, really important. So one of the ear is almost like a symmetrical from here. You know, there's a relationship. Always look at something and try to find the relationship with the rest of the painting with that element. So for me, the ear is responding to that. So the ear is somewhere here. And just give it an indication. You have time to move things. You know, if the ear is not here, but a couple of millimeters or tenths of an inch away, I have time to do it. I think I didn't place the eye at the right place. Right now the head of my horse looks like a dog. It's awful. But, you know, just let's do it gently. Some more Equine. Okay. So now I'm going to start working also from, I mean, I've already done it, but you know, from the outside. So look at the lines, try to understand, like for example, the back is like this, and then I have a little thing that goes up, that goes horizontal almost, and we have this beautiful angle here, and it starts on the tail like this. So it's all about mapping, it's all about positioning things and trying to see where they are, or they respond with the rest, and so on. I'm almost not working with Equine anymore. I'm going to still put some Equine because I want those whites to dry. So as I said, the tough part of painting a white horse is that it's all a game of gray, and that's like, for example, here you see I have this line, I have this muscle that goes from here to here. Okay, and I have something answering that shape just here, and answering again here and here. And then I have something here that goes and everything is movable, you know. I mean, I'm not saying anything that I cannot change in 2 minutes if I feel like I did something off or not the place it should be and so on. I have that beautiful ray of light on the back of that leg. So for this one, I'm gonna just try to place it exactly where it should be. So if I do the vertical of that, it's almost here. So yeah, it should be here. So we're pretty good. The distance is pretty okay. And then from here we have a really strong line here that goes from here. What I'm doing right now might not be at the right place. I might have to change it in a few minutes. I don't know. This is really in the light. Same thing for that. My dogs are crazy. Okay, let me pause it and go see those dogs and make sure they stop barking. Elles sont en train d'aboyer sous ma fenêtre. Oh. Tu sais que... Ami est là. Venez. Allez. Vous rentrez. Ami est là. À la maison. Dépêche-toi. T'as fini avec mon téléphone, non? Non. Ça va? Tu me disputes en plus? Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that. So we have a fence, we have neighbors' dogs, and my dogs and the neighbor's dog were having a conversation. So I asked them to come back home. Okay, so I feel like this line here needs to be tightened. This needs to be flattened a little bit. His back is a bit more curved here. Okay. Then we have the the leg that is thinner. And you see there's this. So this one, where does it go? It goes from here to here. Okay. Yeah, we're about good. So you see, in order for me to really see the lines, I just extend them. So it really helps me to build them properly. So you just extend a direction, like for example this one. Where does it go? It goes from here. Actually now, I see that that thing goes more like this. We have a movement here that is nicer. We have the hair here, and it goes inside, and that thing is a bit longer. We also have the belly of the horse that goes inside. Here you see you have the black that goes inside, and I think it's beautiful. The tail goes more like this. So I'm trying really to work with, just gently caressing the paper with my brush, because I have some black on it and I don't want to put too much black. But on the other hand, it tells me to just draw. I have that beautiful line. Okay, so that line is not at the right place. Okay, now I'm going to look at that line here you see, if you look at this one and this one, it's going to help you to see this one better. So you just look at this one, go to this one, go back and forth, and then try to draw it now that you judge it regards to the other one. We have that beautiful line here that goes in the chest like this. I'm not sure about that, but I will work on it at some point. I have a problem with the head of the horse for now, but once again, I'm not going to panic. I'm going to move to something else, trying to clear my eyes. That means that by working on something else and not looking at the head, I kind of refresh my eyes. I kind of say to my eyes, okay, you haven't seen it yet. Because it's always the same. If you have friends who paint and so on, you go to their studio and you look at their painting and you can see what's wrong in their painting, what they don't see it. And it's the same thing for your painting. You might be able to see things in other painting and you don't see them in yours because you're too used to your own work. So by looking somewhere else, it's helping me to reset my vision. I can even start playing a little bit with the background, like I had this beautiful curve here that goes from here to here. And then there's this one answering as well. There's a lot of little thing going on here. I'm starting doing some stuff in the background as well. Same thing, I know my eyes are a bit tricky right now with me. They play some information that I'm kind of confused. So, I'm moving to the background, and in order for me to come back to the main thing with more accuracy, because my brain's going to be almost like clearer, I have all those elements here. I don't know what it is. It's, some shred in the back. Okay, I'm gonna go back to a little bit to the inside of the horse now that I feel my eyes are a little bit okay, so where, look at the shape here, that shape here, so that's gonna help me to once again, you can always paint the thing from the inside and from the outside. So when you paint the legs, paint the space between the legs as well. That's going to help you to see it more clearly. So now my brush is almost dry, there's almost no colors, nothing, and so I'm just going to brush the shape of the horse, the chest and so on. He has some beautiful muscles here. Okay, now let's try to... You see, I'm walking away from the head because the head right now is a little bit of a trouble for me. And that might be because the head is not at the right place. So I might have to draw everything but the head, and coming back to the head when I will have set up things a bit more accuracy, like better, kind of. Maybe it's because I have those hair here that give some volume, and I need to do them to give the neck the volume it has. Okay, I think that was a good move for me. I have the jaw, the cheek here. I'm still filling on the face, it's okay. On the head, it's okay. I'm just going to work somewhere else and wait and go back when I feel like I'm seeing again. But right now I don't see anymore. Once again, I'm working on other areas. I don't need to focus on the head. If the head doesn't come to me, I can just take a break and there's so many things I need to do. Like, for example, that leg here, there's something weird, there's something wrong about it. And I think it's because here I have a negative curve, and I have negative one here as well, and I made it too large, so like this. It's almost like we can see the body of the horse behind it. Like I can tell that the other leg is somewhere here, but I cannot really see it, so I'm just gonna... Okay. Still no reason to panic. I'm gonna go back to the head pretty soon, try to figure it out. Okay, this part here is really complex as well because there's a lot of shadow going on, but it's okay. Same thing here, I'm gonna just, that line here is really dark. And here it's vertical. So maybe by drawing the harness, it's going to help me to structure the head. So we're going to try that. So the harness, so the top goes here. Oh my gosh, look at that. I'm so off. So it should be here, but So what's the space between here and here? So actually the nose should be somewhere here. And maybe the face, the head is a bit smaller. Okay, let's move somewhere else. I think I'm doing better on the head, but you know, I don't want to overthink about it, so I'm just gonna work on some other areas, move to a smaller brush, get a sip of my soda. Okay, now I'm gonna draw the foot here. It's a beautiful foot. I want it to go, you know, I don't want it to pop out, so the way to do that is I'm going to paint some, I'm going to make some black as well around it. Same thing here. I have some so you see, by going back and forth to the head and other elements of the horse, it actually helped me to rest my eyes. So there's several ways to do it to rest your eyes. You can either do the way I did it, so you work on something else, or you just can, you know, take a break, go for a walk, you know, pet your dog, eat something, turn around, go do your, you know, something in the house or something, and then you come back. I'm pretty trained, so for me resetting my eyes is kind of easy. It doesn't mean it's going to be for you. So, you know, for me resetting my eyes is almost like a natural thing. But I can tell you, when I was a younger painter, it was not like this. I mean, when my eyes were saturated and I could not take it anymore, that was it. I needed a couple of hours, couple of days to just see again. Now, because I'm trained, I know how to reset my eyes. I know how to reset my brain. I know how to cancel what I know and say to my brain, no, 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 what you're seeing is not what it is. You have to trust yourself. You have to be more humble and just reset the whole vision. And you see, that's what I'm doing right now by playing around like this, and you know, just saying to my brain, okay, you know, we're gonna work on it, but we have time. Yeah, I'm still not happy with the head, but once again, it's okay. Okay, so now let's try to work a little bit on that. So the distance between that and that is the same than between that and that. So right now I'm a bit too long here, so I shorten it. Okay, how does it feel? Yeah, I think it feels better. Now I have that line here that is just like here. And I have this line, this one. Where it's going to? It's going from here to here. Okay, so it's going here. So if it's so high, that means that I have a little problem here. Maybe here. Okay. Taking my time, working somewhere else, resetting my eyes. Making sure the sound is recording properly. You know, the truth is, the head of the horse is going to be the center point, of course. You can paint a beautiful body. If the face of your horse is really ugly or doesn't work, then the body is going to not save it, you know. Or maybe you can do, you know, there was this movie with Johnny Depp where he has a horse with no head, I think, so maybe we can do that. I just don't think it's going to be really working for us. I try to understand as well, you know, the muscle, like for example, I have this beautiful white here, and on the muscles of the front leg, same thing here. I have a ray of white here, and I have more white here. That's way too dark here, so I'm just gonna tone it down. Then I have, so obviously that black here is way too strong. Same thing for here, you know, it's much more light gray. I'm a bit worried because I kind of postponed the head, and now I'm facing the fact that I need to get into the head, but it's okay. Let's try. So, where's the nose? The nostril. Okay, let's just focus on the nostril. That black little circle, oval, that is on the tip of his nose. So it's somewhere here. Oh my gosh, look, I'm completely off. It's somewhere here, so the nose is here. Where's the eye? And I'm worried that that line here is actually more like here. Okay. Let's move that. Then the eye. So the eye, where is it? Okay, the eye regards to the neck. The neck is here, the eye is about here, but here. Okay, and it's a shape like this. So you see, no panic, no no frustration, just okay, I'm gonna think about it, I'm gonna find a way, and that's it. And it's the same thing for this leg actually. You see, actually I have to move the whole leg, it's more like this. I want to work on that, you know, just the grass in the front. Okay, let's go back to the... So of course, you know, by tomorrow the colors will be dry, and so if I have to put some highlights of white and so on, it will be easier tomorrow. For tonight, what I want to do is just to get as close as possible as I can for tonight, and then I will just let it go and start painting again tomorrow on that painting. That's the other thing, you know, you need to start understanding that if you spend time, enough time, then it will happen. So just don't panic, don't feel like you're not doing it, and you know you're not satisfied with what you're doing, and so just be kind to yourself and take your time, and just, you know, sometimes things don't happen right away. Sometimes it takes time. Oh, way too white, but that's okay. Okay, let's go back to that. To that head, huh? As you can tell, I'm avoiding the head for now. But I'm not worried. Okay. So you see, if I cut his head, I think it looks better. It's often the case with anything we paint, you know. I mean, if you do a scene with a lot of people in the streets and so on, you're always gonna end up with problems with the faces. That's always the main thing. Either we paint a horse or people or whatever. Okay, now let's try again. Okay, I think that line here is way too high. I think the eye is a little bit more here. Oh my goodness. Okay, maybe my problem is the ears. Okay, that here is just, it's pretty close. If it's here, just here, it's not that far. Okay. You see the black of the ear, the inside here? I'm going to try to locate it regards to the rest. So I'm going to forget everything else, just the relationship between that. And by the way, that is actually more like this. Maybe not. Okay, and then we have that here. So I think maybe the problem is that I have too much distance here. So I have that line here, and then sometimes it's not a lot. You see, I'm just going to lower that point, and that might be all it takes. And we're not talking about a lot. We're talking about, you know, just a tiny, tiny bit of space. The eye is somewhere here, and then okay. Now that thing is actually here, so there's something wrong with that. Okay, what if I do that here? I think it's easier to do a head of a horse with harness than no harness, because the harness gives you a structure. Okay, now this one goes from here around the here. And then this one communicates with this one here, and then this one goes from here to here. And then we have a tiny one here. So I worked a little bit more on the horse. I don't know what we missed. So I'm just going to work on his eye. No, I'm actually going to try to do something for you guys. Okay, and okay, so you can see better what I'm doing on the face. Okay, perfect. So we have, so what I'm doing when I paint like this, I put my finger on the paper, so it helps me to keep control of the brush. You see, this is the shape of that line is more like this and not like this. Okay. I'm still moving things around on the head because Not really happy with it. It's really white. It's the top of the head. And so the here is... We're talking about a really small surface to paint, so it's not easy to just give all the details on something so tiny. Okay, and now I need to get inside that. And so basically, painting the head is exactly like the rest of the body, but the only difference is the scale. It's, of course, much smaller. It's more... that's what I was saying earlier when I was talking about, if you have to paint a street with characters in it, like with people walking or whatsoever, and you're going to end up doing a lot of little portraits, of course, that's going to be the keystone of the painting, and if you fail for the faces, the whole painting is going to look like not great. And it's the same thing for if you paint a horse and you miss the face, the head. It's just what it is, once you paint anything that is alive, you want to see the face properly done. So after, as I say, it's really a matter of scale. Like I used exactly the same technique for the head than I used for the rest of the body. And I'm using that tiny brush to do the little details. Like you see, for example, I see that there's the chest, of course, the pectoral muscle is like this. That here goes much more like this. So I might do another session on that horse tomorrow, just to finish all the details. And now I can start putting the handles on the doors and the furniture in the house, because the structure of the house now, the foundation and the general architecture is good. So now it's and you really need to remember that you just don't start putting details until the big structure is not good. Okay, let me go back to the wall painting. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll give you 1 second. Perfect. And here we are. You see, like for example, I'm looking at this line here. The back of a horse is so specific. There's something so beautiful about those lines that you need to really nail them in order to really have the feeling of the horse. Otherwise, you know, like here, it's okay, it's more round. And here I have a little thing going on here, which is a muscle, and then I have something here. And now, you know, I can start playing with shadows, shades, shadows, and so on, and focus on the muscle, because of course now the painting is much more accurate. So and there's something really cool about the eye of horses is the eyelashes. And if you can get them, then the eye really looks like a real eye of horse. Okay. The shape of their ears also is really cool. Like, you know, there's this little line here that goes from here, just like this. Same thing on the other side. So what I will do, I will fix a couple of details tomorrow, give some more volume to the horse, but roughly we're getting there. You know, what I like to do sometimes is to give a little bit of blurriness on some lines that I don't think are important. Like for example here, I feel like the light is coming in through that. I'm not really happy with my with this line, neither this one. But you know, once again, I'm going to work on it tomorrow and try to really nail it tomorrow on the last layer. Okay, so that's it for today on this one, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye bye. Hello, welcome back to the studio. So yesterday I started that painting of a horse. today it's almost dry. I showed you I've done another one earlier, which was a black horse. And I like this one. Let me show you. Okay, this one and this one. I like this one better, you know, because I think, you know, the body of the horse in the painting is not big enough. I could have picked up the photo, maybe crop it a little bit and make it look better. Anyway, I'm going to finish with this one. I don't want to give it up. I don't think there's a lot of work on it left. You know, maybe enhancing a little bit the white. So I'm picking up a pretty small brush. Yeah, I'm going to try to give more volume to the body, because, you know, the top of the horse, the back of the horse here is a bit more in the light. So you see now that the colors underneath are dry. I, of course, can have wider light. I mean, a lighter white, that's hard to say. So I'm just going to try to give some volume. And I will start another one anyway, because, as I say, I think I could have picked up a better image. You know, I just wanted to do a black horse and a white horse, and but I'm not a big fan of this one. So, you know, sometimes you see an image and you want to paint it, and you think it's going to be a great painting, and then it turns out not to be really interesting. That happens, you know. I mean, even the greatest painters, you know, they do not that great paintings sometimes. So the reason is because either we didn't pick up the right image as a starting point, or it was not the right day, you know, to paint something like this. So it happens. You know, it's like for music, you know. I mean, bands make albums. There's 12, 13 songs on an album, and sometimes there's only 2 or 3 that are good, and sometimes some of them are not good. I mean, I don't know a lot of album of music where all the songs are good. So I guess it's pretty much the same for paintings. So right now I'm just working with white, just making some enhancement in colors. So it's pretty simple. I want to start another one like the black horse I showed you earlier. And you know, as I'm doing the white, I'm still correcting if I see something that I missed or something that I didn't place at the right position. You know, I'm still fixing things. I'm going to use my smaller brush. You see, I feel like I miss a little bit of the chest here. There's some light. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna start another one, like the black horse, because I feel like sometimes if you feel like there's not a lot more. I mean, we can always do more, but sometimes we lost the vibe, kind of. So I'm saying that and I'm keeping on, so it's not like I want to give up yet. Quite often we overdo the contrast. So sometimes it's good to come back like this, because I'm just making the grays a bit lighter, and as I say, sometimes we have a tendency to increase the contrast and all those elements, and so it can be interesting to start with a fresh eye. You know, even the position of my nose is not good, so I'm just gonna change it. I'm gonna use a really tiny brush for that because it's just such a tiny detail. We'll do a close-up of the head, just the head, you know, just not with the rest of the body, but just doing a painting just of the head of a horse. It's something we can play with. Okay. So you see, like for example, here was way too dark, and I believe here as well. You know, the thing is that I'm looking at the white and the gray, but if you look at the background, then obviously, you know, the white horse is really, you know, coming forward. And I'm still correcting the shape, you know, like for example, I feel like this leg needs to be a bit thinner here, and I have an issue here that length is not correct. I have to, and there's a muscle here that goes like this, and then it starts like this again. Same thing here. You know, I feel like I still have a couple of, more than a couple, there's still so many things I can improve. So each time you work again on something, you know, just revisit everything you've done, all the decisions you've made, and just try to, you know, make them more subtle or Okay, I feel like I was right to try to not give up, because I feel it's better. And you see, I didn't work for a long time, maybe barely 10-15 minutes, but you know, if I was doing that several times, you know, you just put the painting in a corner of the studio, you don't look at it, and you know, a couple of days after you paint, you come back to the painting, you fix things and so on. That's still the best way to really, you know, make sure that the painting is going to be as close as you can from the truth. You see, I'm changing the size of that thing here. This thing is a bit more like this. There's a little dark area here. This thing here is more like this, and then the front here goes a bit lower here and here. Okay. You remember yesterday I was telling you that this line here is really subtle. There's something, if you don't catch it well, the horse can look not muscular enough. There's something really specific about the back of horses. And now you see I'm using my brush almost dry, almost like if it was charcoal. And if it's too much, I can blend it with my finger. Okay. So let's just unveil it. And I will start another black and white one. So this paper is much lighter than the stock card I used before. You see, it's just a regular paper, but still it has that great quality of staying really flat. So, you know, I really like it. Let me show you. Okay, so this is the white. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Now, if we compare with the black one I've done before, you see, they're actually pretty close in quality. So, you know, I'm glad I worked on it today. Anyway, so I'm going to stretch another paper and start another black horses. Okay, so I'll see you soon. Bye.